Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com.
We are live. Welcome to the Token Metrics Monday live stream. I'm your host, Bill Noble. If you need a roadmap in crypto and you need to make money in crypto, then subscribe to this channel. Turn on the alerts bell so you'll know when we go live. If you like the content, please hit the like button and give us a thumbs up. I'm joined today by my co-hosts, Mehdi and Michael. Gentlemen, happy Monday.
Hey,
happy Monday, Bill.
Happy Monday.
All right, here's how we're going to work today, folks. I'm going to do the market update, right? There's no need to ask when moon because we know that now, right? So we're going to do the market update, and then my colleagues are going to reaffirm some of the bullish views that they've had, and we've got some really nice nuggets about wallets and NFTs that we're definitely going to want to share. We're definitely going to share them with you, and you definitely want to stay tuned to hear this. So let's just welcome who's on the stream here. We have Jeremy, Aiken, Taz first on the stream. We have our friends from Indiana, Corona, California, Belgium. All right. Kentucky loves us and we love you back. Brazil, Honduras, Liverpool, Jersey, Cyprus. All right. We welcome you to our show. So with the market mooning, okay, let's just jump straight in to your market update, okay? Parabola, as in parabolic. Let's take a moment to review what we've been saying since the Fed meeting. But first, shop.tokenmetrics.com. Did you know that in the Western world, the average amount of money spent on Valentine's Day is $175? We can get you set up at shop.tokenmetrics.com with stylish hoodies and t-shirts. So what are you wearing for the bull market, right? What are you wearing for Valentine's Day? Think about it. If you're going to get long a Token Metrics subscription and get your merch today. Now let's talk about the market update. Previously, we were bullish and it was tough. It was tough to be on TV every day and be like, you know, I'm bullish when this thing traded terrible. And the whole world thought that, you know, there was going to be war and all kinds of other problems. Now, one of the reasons we were bullish is because the printing press is still on. Right? In Europe, the solution to inflation is to ignore it. So you're on your own. You've got to use crypto as a hedge. It's as simple as that, right? And commodities, physical commodities are going parabolic, and crypto is a digital commodity. Now, the Federal Reserve can raise rates, but again, they're still printing money. And then, of course, in crypto, you have the other argument, which is that everybody got bearish and big players got hedged, which means they put on derivatives bets, right? That would pay them if the market went down. And you're wondering, what happens to those bets when the market goes up? Well, they lose money and they go to cover quickly. Hedging can sometimes go wrong, hence the famous Wall Street phrase, a hedge is something a little doggy pees on. Because hedging is difficult and you often lose money. In this case, people obviously hedged below 40K. So when the market turned, and it turned suddenly right before a payroll number, okay, the turn was violent. Now, your question is, which is everyone's question is, okay, that's nice, Bill, but what do I do now? So let me explain it to you. This is the Bitcoin ETF, right? The Bitcoin ETF is going to be how equities players get exposure to Bitcoin. Normally in equities, You don't get things called an island bottom. So on this chart, you have two gaps, and I'll show it later in another chart. But I'm guessing that the gap open from today may wind up getting filled, meaning the Bitcoin ETF gapped up. You're going to have this huge update today, and then it may come off from wherever it comes off from over the next 2 days, and that's your dip to buy. So if we're looking at the Bitcoin ETF, 2550 is the support level you'd be looking at there. Now, let's look at the Bitcoin futures contract. What I'm trying to figure out here is, where is equilibrium in Bitcoin? Where's the level where you go, okay, it's kind of, it's like, all right, we got too bullish, we got too bearish. What's the Goldilocks level for the Bitcoin futures contract? And that's a high volume area, probably between 45 and 48K. So don't be surprised if they take it up there before the next dip. I know that makes it very hard to trade. It's why earlier last week or late last week or all of last week, I was like, you got to have a core long position. This way you can let it run, and then if you have dips, you can add. Now, if you don't have a core long position, you can try to grab a teeny tiny amount now, not investment advice, let it run up, or wait until close to see if profit taking comes in. That may be the better play. But ultimately, this is going to wind up between 45 and 48K. The only question is, does it go there and then dip, or does it dip and then go there? All right, stay tuned on this channel for more on that. Now, this is Bitcoin. This is actual Bitcoin, right, itself. Noticing that the volume area and some Gann and regression levels come in between 45 and 47K, right? So most likely 45 to 47K is going to be resistance. My guess is Bitcoin will stop between 45 and 47 for 2 days. That may give you time for altcoins to do even more upside, right? So here's the case scenario. Bitcoin to 45 to 47. Either crypto market pause or Bitcoin pause. Then when there's a dip, or if there's an event like the inflation number, or frankly, whatever, right? The next scary dip is a dip to be bought. That may be the last dip you see in February. I will reiterate what I have been saying for a while. This is like the reiteration live stream. My colleagues will do some reiterating of their own shortly. Okay? If you're going to make money being long, February is the best month to do so. It could be one of the only months to do so. And as you're seeing, much to even my surprise, you're getting way more upside than I could have imagined, right? A week ago, everyone was talking 30K. Now, if you get one more big update, people are going to be talking about a new high in Bitcoin. Now, we're looking at MicroStrategy. Interesting, this is Michael Saylor's company. MicroStrategy is really not recovering at the same speed of Bitcoin. So MicroStrategy is now back at its average price around 48K. So that may be why 48K is resistant short term. Because even if they got squeezed out of their hedges, they may try to hedge the whole book between here and say 50K. The stock is not performing well, so the market is still worried about the size of their Bitcoin position. Now, I'm showing you this because, Bitcoin and the market can make new high, but I do think there's more upside in the second half of February in altcoins and Ethereum. Let's look at Galaxy Digital's when they were giving up on it at the end of January, right? Galaxy Digital has turned around and gapped up, all right, leaving what I call an island. Okay, if you look up in the technical analysis textbook, you'll see that for commodities, it is frequent to have an island bottom. Now, let's just think about what an island is. The market gaps down, everyone gets short, and then the market gaps up leaving the shorts on an island. Now, in equities, islands are rare. Okay. As a matter of fact, frequently when you have an island, the gap that creates it gets filled. So if you missed Galaxy, and it's trading at 19 or 20, you may get a retest to 17.22 to get involved. Okay, so I know it looks like green and you're out of your mind with FOMO, but if there was a dip to fill that gap, that's where you would increase size, trying to get that big return for the second half of February. Okay, looking at the overall Bitcoin picture using the volume traded in the futures contract. There was huge volume coming off the low in July. There was volume at the lows, right, recently in late January, but we know that was Sailor, right? So we're looking at the volume from, say, Friday, and we notice, I don't know, a somewhat lack of enthusiasm. Like volume in the futures contract is not what you would have expected looking at way volume was back in July. And I looked at this and I was like, well, okay, there's resistance, but do we have a little disbelief in this market? Uh-oh. Do people not believe it? Do people not want to pay up and get long? Oh, I think so. So even though I've talked about the dip, because I know you need that tactical navigation to try to get long with good risk reward and stops. But the question is, do people believe this rally? Do people want to jump in and pay up? I think the answer based on this is no. They don't believe this. They don't believe how high this can go in February. So if you're all messed up because you think you missed it, I would strongly encourage you to get unmessed up quickly and think fast. Because if the market's going to give you an opportunity to get in, you're probably going to see it between now and the CPI number on the 10th. Okay. Looking at what Token Metrics' quant department gave me regarding Bitcoin. So in red, we have the Bitcoin price. In blue, we have the Token Metrics grade. So frequently, the higher the grade, the more likely our AI is to like it. Grades above 80 usually indicate a strong uptrend is potentially unfolding. The green lines show you the days where Bitcoin showed up in our indices. Now, what happens is, in my mind, when something starts to show up in our indices, that can be a signal that the AI is picking up on a strong uptrend. Sometimes the AI, like me, it kind of gets involved at the top, but sometimes it actually will get you out at the top. But most importantly, I'm interested is when the AI indices are getting involved so we can get you in at the bottom or the bottom-ish. So the green lines on the right, there's like a couple of them. They're not all clustered together yet. So our indices are starting to pick up Bitcoin, right? In other words, we have a situation where futures volume statistics indicate people don't believe this, yet our AI is picking up on potentially a much larger uptrend in Bitcoin. Now, let's go to Ethereum, where I think the real smoke could be on the upside. Ethereum hit the bottom of a regression channel. It did a false breakout, and it's come back in. That's bullish. The black lines show you that Ethereum was in like a broadening triangle formation. Okay, it broke through the bottom. It came back in, and it may wind up breaking through the top at 46.60. Okay, short term, there may be some tactical resistance around 3,300. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind, despite how constructive I am on Ethereum, there is a lot of volume in the options market around 3,000. So if you're worried that this whole thing is just going to run away from you, one of the things you can use to calm your nerves is that when there's a huge amount of options volume at a particular price, frequently price can get sort of stuck there for a while. It can be sticky. It can be sticky for a day, couple days, right? So I'm not expecting Ethereum to go past 3,300 in, say, the next 3 days. However, that said, when you have a lot of open interest, when you have a lot of options players, kind of like battling it out at that 3,000 price, when it moves past that price, it'll move rapidly to the next one. Now, what's the next price? What's the next battleground in the options market? 4,000. Okay? So that's a nice way of saying if Ethereum can clear 3,000 or say 3,300, 4 is next. Okay? Now, is that going to happen in the next 3 days? Honestly, I don't know. I kind of favor a dip first. But once this gets rolling in Ethereum, forget about it. Okay? It's just going to go. All right? And don't forget, Mike was telling you last time, right? The Ethereum burn rate is equivalent to major US CEOs spending the hundreds of thousands of dollars they make per day on Ethereum, right? Is feeling the burn, right? People in Ethereum, there's options market indications, crypto Twitter, right? NFT volume, it's bullish for Ethereum. You got a couple of days for it to sit at 3,000, right? Who knows? You might have a week, right? But when Ethereum goes, it's going to go. It's just going to go. Now let's talk about Total 2. It's time to pay close attention to crypto market cap indices, right? In other words, total, that's total crypto market cap. Total 2, that's total crypto market cap without Bitcoin. And then there's Total 3, which I'll get to in a minute. Total 2, market cap without Bitcoin, in other words, led by ETH, could move from, say, 1.1 trillion to 1.25 trillion. Okay? That's like another, I don't know, $1 billion in change that can be added to total crypto market cap. So that means ETH, right? Solana, AVAX, the big caps, right? They have a lot of room to go up. And here's the funny thing, folks. All that would do is unwind the give up trade from January. In other words, people are like, oh my God, it's so overbought. Oh, I missed it. No, right? We haven't even unwound the give up trade in these market cap measures yet, right? We haven't. Now, Total 3. This is the big chart, folks. If I had to do a one chart market update, this would be it. Total 3 is total crypto market cap without Bitcoin and Ethereum. There was a head and shoulders top. All right. Now, it was very bearish because it's, this measure spent a couple weeks below that black line, the neckline. However, last week, Total 3 has recovered and come back above the neckline. So a head and shoulders top is a bearish formation. And I learned this once upon a time from a guy who traded in Chicago, that one of the most bullish formations out there is when a bearish head and shoulders top essentially breaks or fails. Interesting, right? 1 minute it's bearish, and the next minute, oh my God, wait a minute. It's a failed bearish pattern or a super bullish one. Right? So what does that mean? Well, that means if Bitcoin, takes a break at 48 or, I don't know, goes to 48 or wherever it's going, altcoins may go farther, right? I can see altcoin market cap making a new high. Honestly, I can. Because, Bitcoin may stop because big players may need to hedge, possibly. And altcoins, which everyone has puked out, may be free to run. Now, which altcoins? Well, you've come to the right place. You've come to Token Metrics, where in our Binance Daily Index, we're highlighting Maker, which has been going up for 2 weeks, along with Beefy Finance, and new to the indices, our FTX token, which I've been pounding the table on. the crypto market smokes to the upside, it stands to reason that FTX could become the next Binance coin. Not investment advice. And then Decentraland and synthetics are in there because our AI is starting to pick up uptrends in high quality coins. Okay. On the lower end of the spectrum, XRP was in our indices earlier. They're not anymore. However, the fact that our AI was picking up on XRP at all has got me interested. Now, maybe today's rally is it. Maybe that's it. Or maybe XRP is going a lot higher. I am combing our indices every day to see if XRP comes back in. Okay, if there was ever a time to look at this, again, particularly if we're looking for market cap expansion, this is a big market cap coin. So, it's almost like, hey, somebody call BitBoy. Call BitBoy on his cell phone and be like, hey, dude, maybe you got to take another look at the XRP chart. He's got the narrative, but to me, the chart looks interesting. And I'm dying to see what our AI and our metrics think about it, which you can do too at tokenmetrics.com. Okay, another indice is also picking up Bitcoin. So as I said earlier, right, you don't need necessarily the special graph from the quant department, even though that visual is cool. This particular index has got a 20% allocation to Bitcoin. Okay, here is the Decentraland chart. Support in Decentraland is at 320. Okay, it seems like these metaverse coins want to make a new high, right? Every time I looked at a metaverse coin and I was like, well, I don't know if it's going to go up. No. Okay, obviously the metaverse is telling you, right? Metaverse was going up before Bitcoin and ETH were. So, yeah, some of this stuff is overbought short term, but really all it takes is one catalyst to get this whole space, like the speculation in this and the NFT market, right? If you thought NFTs were crazy before, you got possibly 3 weeks of a parabolic, and in NFTs, dips and things like that, and the inflation number are less of a concern. Okay, avalanche. Now, what you want to start to do in a market like this, right, is find stuff that had the ability in the past to go up almost on its own. So if you're like, okay, well, is it going to dip? Do I wait 2 days? These tactical questions are hard to answer. But what's not hard to answer is there is a group of coins that has showed the ability to go up all by its lonesome, right? In other words, some of these coins like Avalanche, they were going up when the market was going down at one point. So if I'm looking at Avalanche and I'm like, oh my God, this thing is trading at 84, and I don't think there's any resistance until 100 or 110. And I don't see any reason why Avalanche can't go back to 150, to be completely honest with you. In other words, this doesn't have the Ethereum options market problem. So if everybody goes, okay, what are we going to buy today? That's kind of how this is working, right? It's like a moon, a staging, a moon or a parabolic in stages. Avalanche could be next. Phantom didn't go down during the bear market, but it hasn't gone up much either yet. Right? So Phantom popped up 2 days ago, right? The high in Phantom is 350, and I think it's a question of time before the metaverse, Bitcoin, ETH moonshot moves over into DeFi. That's Phantom, Avalanche, Trader Joe. Mehdi's going to talk later about some of the protocols that he likes, that he's been talking about. Some have structured products. Okay, Mike's got a cross-chain DeFi idea or a cross-chain item that you're going to want to see. Most importantly, at this stage, you want to try to find high-quality stuff that has not gone parabolic, that you can jump on and have reasonable risk management. Again, not investment advice. Now, to just give you an idea of what's going on in the metaverse, things that were going straight up like Cube back in November have now started this slow creep. We saw this slow creep in Gala. I have to be totally honest with you. I can't remember what I said about Gala, but it's clear that regardless of what metaverse coin you're talking about, all it takes is a small catalyst for stuff to just go ballistic on the upside. So Cube is just an example, right? If you draw a parallel channel, right, the next levels are 13 and 17, and it's trading at 8.5. So I know everyone's like, oh my God, what do I do today? Part of the answer to that question is, all right, if you want to figure out what to do today, tomorrow, and 2 days from now, where is this coin or any coin I'm looking at going to be at the end of February? Is it going to be where it is right now? Is it going to be slightly lower or slightly higher? I don't want to say who cares, but you always have to care when it comes to risk management, right? But you don't want to talk yourself out of being long if this is a golden opportunity to do so. Synthetics has resistance at 6. Synthetics was going up as the market was going down. Somewhere in the crypto universe, and stay tuned because many may have found it, somewhere in the crypto universe, somebody's going to figure out DeFi and derivatives. I always thought it was synthetics because I understood that, and that market is moving, but there could be better plays out there. Now, speaking of coins that have not yet moved, right? Chainlink is just now recovering above resistance at $17, right? Everyone gave up on Chainlink. Why? What? We're gonna have a 30-day crypto moonshot without DeFi? Really? Come on, people. No way. I mean, the give up trade in Chainlink started at 23. Chainlink's currently at 18. So if Chainlink gave you one red day, right, or one ugly day where it was like up and then back down and then up again, which is also possible, right? You may get people FOMOing in today, correcting on inflation, and then back up. So if you want a less volatile play with real upside, Chainlinks, Polkadots, right? Here's XRP, right? If XRP breaks 85 cents on a weekly chart, XRP could be interesting, right? Very speculative, but again, in this type of a market, what's wrong with a little speculation, right? We did license to speculate after the Fed. Solana. Why is everyone giving up on Solana? Do you hear anybody talking about Solana except the guy that runs Multicoin Capital? No. I mean, I'm showing Solana taking out a trend line just today. It just came into the bottom of a regression band. Why can't Solana go back to 200? There's probably going to be resistance at, obviously along the way, but from a big picture point of view, like this is not out of control. This hasn't even started. Now, you may have bag holders in this. You may have retail selling the first uptick going, oh, thank God I can get out. Don't do it, people. You know what I'm saying? Like if you got this, you got to give it a chance to go back to 200. Okay, Near Protocol. Okay, proud to say that Mehdi and friends can talk more about this. Near Protocol. Okay, just now starting to rally, probably can go to 21, maybe higher. Rose, layer 1 that Mike's been talking about, is also moving, right? Also on the move, right? 50 cents, possible. All right, folks, that is the market update. Let's shift over, all right? Mehdi is going to go through, something that he's found like an almost one-stop shop. It almost sounds like everything you've ever wanted in an investment bank and an exchange all at once. Mehdi, take it away on that.
Thank you, Bill. Yeah, so there's a protocol called Vega. It's trying to become, in my opinion, the decentralized Binance that we don't have at the moment. It's an interesting play. The coin is actually listed. So the current market cap is around 90 million and the fully diluted is 500 million. Now, the only concern with this coin is that they're still in their beta version. It's not fully functioned yet. So I just want you to observe this, and once they like, you can build a small position again, not financial advice. And then once they get to their main net, when you can see the execution, then you can maybe top up. So I just want you to have this in your radar, because if the valuation at the moment is 500 million and Binance is 80, 90 billion, like BNB coin, for example, or even for that matter in equities, coin Coinbase is around 80 to 90 billion dollars fully diluted valuation. So you can have about 100x if they kind of replace that on the trading front. So let me just quickly share my screen and just talk more about it. Yeah, so as the title suggests, it could potentially become the decentralized Binance. The reason I say that is because this protocol will be able to support a lot of different things. Firstly, it's a layer one, it's an infrastructure play, and the infrastructure play can support derivatives, perpetuals, option swaps, and exotic derivatives, and also spot market. So, so the funny thing is that at the moment you have dydx that kind of supports perpetual, then you have uniswap. How about a protocol that has all in one and have these product as separate markets within the protocol? So with options you have, at the moment you have ribbon finance. So with this protocol you'll have ribbon finance, you'll have dydx, you'll have other projects, other exchanges like swaps and exotic derivatives, uh, and spot markets. Yes, this was one of the Delphi's research on this. Delphi also researched on it, and I think their research was spot on regarding this. That Vega is an interesting protocol. So if somebody is mentioning this, that okay, we won't be missing Delphi's research. Yes, this diagram is basically one of the diagrams taken from Delphi. So yeah. Uh, Another reason I like this protocol is that is it hasn't performed well during this whole bull run, and despite that, if you look at the GitHub, the activity level is quite high and it has good backers. So you have Arrington, XRP, you have Pantera, you have Parafy, you have Delphi Ventures, and you have other research companies, other good ventures, VCs backing this protocol. So I keep on, because of this reason, I keep liking it. Now, uh, at the infrastructure level is just a network, but with on top of that network you can have different verticals that you can build on. So you can have derivatives, swaps, exotics, AMM, central order limit book, and so on and so forth. And because of that you can have different types of instrument that can trade on it. So you can have spot, you can have futures, you can have perpetuals, you can have exotics, and you can even have synthetic asset. So if you want like a all in all index level exposure of crypto, this could be this product could be it, especially when it kind of transitions away from mainnet to uh, from betternet to kind of mainnet. So that's another reason why I like it. So another thing what they do is they kind of separate out the risk. So let's say you have different pools of asset, and since you have all the risk separated out by different instruments and different markets, you also kind of reduce the risk for the whole segment. So whole protocol will have a lesser risk, because let's say if there is a failure, if there is a liquidity squeeze in, let's say, one area or one market, other market will still keep on functional. So this protocol can isolate the risk parameters for different asset classes. So for me, that's interesting. So good thing is, so while you have ribbon finance that democrat that kind of it's like a so ribbon finance did democratize the option based structure protocol. So Vega is taking additional step by building out infrastructure where anybody can launch their own option based vault, so and also structure based products. So this is very interesting. They also support multi key verification, so this can in the future make on chain indication and on-chain syndicates and investment fund easy to make. They can also facilitate OTC desk, and you can also interact with their clients in a reliable and trust minimized way. And the whole thesis lies on the fact that if it becomes decentralized Binance, and if you kind of look at Coinbase valuation, it's around 70 to 80 billion dollars fully diluted, and their fully diluted valuation at the moment is 500 million. If it kind of captures that, maybe 50% of it, then still a 100x investment. I'm not saying go and buy that right now. The risk is still in beta stages, not mainnet yet, but there is high total addressable market. It's index level exposure to structured market and crypto, and for those two reasons, I kind of like it. So it's one of the projects to kind of keep an eye on. Yeah.
You and I were talking about NFTs. And one of the things we can help you with NFTs is tokenmetrics.com now has a newsletter where we're going to be scoring NFT projects. But it looks like you identified something going on in LooksRare that may help people looking to buy and sell NFTs. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I was reading the newsletter by Delphi actually, and they had this chart, and after looking into this chart more, it seems like the volume of LooksRare in comparison to OpenSea, uh, at the moment, volume of LooksRare is significantly higher than OpenSea. Um, Now, the interesting part is if you look at the unique users and the active addresses kind of trading, OpenSea is much higher than LooksRare. So what's happening is that there is a term called wash trading, where let's say whales kind of buy and sell their own NFT and move the NFT market in order to take advantage of the APYs. So LooksRare has 500, 600% APYs, and the APY is in repped ETH and in their own looks token. So in order to take advantage of that, I feel a lot of the activity here is basically wash trading. So that's another thing that's happening. But in the short run, this might look like a gimmick, and the word of caution would be just avoid. But long term, because of this, if people get used to using LooksRare and people are basically enjoying using it, it can lead to substantial network effect. So in short run, if there's a huge dump, you can perhaps take a position for long term and say, you know what, because of this APY, you are getting network effect. But then the other argument is that a lot of this network effect is actually not network effect, is basically a gimmick in a sense that there is wash trading happening, and a lot of things we see at cover of the book might not necessarily mean what inside is good.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mehdi. So we're going to give you, we're going to give you that so you can either stay out of trouble or manage risk appropriately. Now, Mike, going over to you, I know you had a couple projects that you liked that are doing well, and I know you had a cross-chain wallet that you liked. So why don't you give us a little bit of information on that? And then I definitely want to go back to Mehdi about Near. So if you're interested in Near, don't go anywhere. So Mike, take it away.
All right. Thank you very much, Bill. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. So yeah, back on the topic of the expansion of other layer ones like Terra Luna, AVAX, and Rose, and Phantom. Other layer ones are up and coming. One project that is in the works and seems like it's picking up more steam by the day is a XDeFi wallet. And what's unique about XDeFi wallet is it's very much like the same interface as MetaMask, but for trading, they're giving you rebates back. So very unique tokenomics. A lot of us are doing trading on several chains, be it Ethereum, Thorchain, Terra, or other EVM compatible chains. What XDeFi wallet is doing is rewarding you for your activity across these chains. It recently got $8 million in investments from Delphi Digital, Mechanism Capital, Alameda Research. We started tracking it, and we informed our internal customers about it at around 70 cents. It's currently sitting at around about 90 cents right now. So, it's still moving in this market, and it's actually, outperforming the market, especially during down. It might have some steam here moving forward as well for the poor internet connection. I'm not sure why. Okay. But yeah, so very interesting project. There's a 19-person team currently. most notable experience. They have a few asset managers that came from Kraken, Crypto.com, Bloomberg, as well as Consensus. So a very technical team. And they saw the niche in the market for a wallet that rewards people for their interactions across all DeFi platforms. The token utility, the token itself is XDeFi, and it was actually designed by Delphi Digital. So it has very strong tokenomics inherently. So for trading, you essentially would buy a allotted amount of XDeFi, and you will essentially stake it, and on the back end while you're trading, you're getting rewarded in RX DeFi, which is the rebate token of the DeFi token. And they also have a community treasury. So every transaction you incur, they're going to take 2-3% of that, spit it back into a treasury, and reward XDeFi holders or rebate holders of the token for being a part of the network. And they're also building out a play to learn feature, so you could learn more about DeFi, specific blockchains, be it Terra Luna, Ethereum, Thorchain, and you'll also be rewarded for doing so in XDeFi token. And now my internet's a little bit faster. So current market cap 227 million. MetaMask, I think, does several million dollars a day of transactions, and they just incur all the profits. So this is an alternative for your MetaMask transactions, and the centralized Web3 transactions that you've been doing. XDeFi wallet is already live. We could see here. 1 second.
Pulls that up.
Yeah.
You're getting paid to trade across chain. Think about that.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
They're
Right
paying you to expand your mind.
Right now, you will be rewarded for your transactions on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polygon, Binance, Terra Luna, Thorchain, and they're integrating the other major layer ones that are up and coming, and the majority of the integrations are going to be Q1 of this year. So there might be a lot of alpha for this wallet inherently to come. And another project we wanted to mention, we spoke about a little bit as well. Let me pull it up here. Sorry, it's right here. So this is a new, not necessarily new, but it's a underrated play to earn game that's incubated and created by Animica Brands. It's called Crazy Defense Heroes. The ticker for the token is Tower, and what they're doing is essentially it's a card game that's interactive. You get a legend that you play around with, and they have waves of monsters you have to defeat, and in doing so, you get rewarded in their native Tower token. Tower is currently sitting at 3 cents, $300 million market cap, so relatively undervalued for a gaming oriented blockchain play. So we wanted to just let you guys know about this one. One unique thing about it was the fact that it's pushed heavily by Animica Brands. It was created by Animica Brands, and the tokenomics behind it, there is no seed investors or private investors. So the likelihood of it being dumped on you is a lot less than other big gaming projects that have a lot of investors that came in early. But yes, apologies for the slow internet. So you can see here on Animica Brands, their main website, they have Crazy Defense Heroes, and the token itself currently at 3 cents, 325 million market cap. So just another game to be informed about and look out for.
Yeah, really interesting, Mike. Appreciate that. One of the things that we've talked about, Mehdi has often brought up, is when it comes to gaming, the gaming sector, the valuations got a little bit off. So if you either got to find something that's reasonably priced or really, really cool, right? Like I was looking at Gala today, not sure if that's a pure gaming play, but I looked at it and I was like, I'm not sure I was bullish enough. So, Mike, I know there's a, like, we wanted to maybe talk a little bit about a layer one that you liked. We had another project that was on the watch list, but I want to go back to Medi. Medi, tell us about Near Protocol, man. How's it doing versus the market? How's your thesis on that going?
Yeah. So Near has been outperforming Ethereum. Ethereum has been up 20%. Near has been up 35% this week. Um, so I'm very confident it will keep on doing this. The reason is that the NFT and the gaming side of it, it's kind of developing more and more. The TVL is growing. The thesis is intact. And recently, I also covered a high beta play on Near, which is Octopus Network, and Octopus Network is up 50%. So I've done a 100x show. I got the CEO on the podcast uh, about a week ago. I did a deep dive myself, so do check it out. So if you want to get exposure to Near, but want to get exposure at a lower valuation, you can do it either through Octopus, or if you're in it for the long run and if your risk tolerance is lower, you can basically buy Near on directly. Thesis is intact. I still like it. I think the team has very good understanding of UI UX. They know how to use Google tools, so um, it's a very different layer one in my opinion, and because of that reason I like it. I also like AVAX. I think AVAX could be next. I think AVAX could the rally could start. Good thing is I'm also getting Emin from Avalanche in next couple of days, so I do have some questions for him, and I would also recommend to kind of check out that podcast. I think one thing the market is still not appreciating enough about AVAX is that AVAX is actually very similar to Polkadot and Cosmos if you look at their subnets. And this is one part of the narrative which is not appreciated by the market much. So if you want to get something which is like a hybrid between Ethereum and a Polkadot, I think AVAX could be an interesting play, and also a hybrid between IOTA and Nano, and Ethereum and Polkadot. So if you want like a hybrid model, AVAX could be the chain.
Interesting. So again, tokenmetrics.com subscribers have gotten, a deep dive on Avalanche. You definitely want to check out on YouTube. It's the Octopus Network YouTube video, basically saying 10x potential, right? And this Near ecosystem, because what I hear from Medi, and I'll repeat it back to you, is that there's something going on in the layer one universe, right, which is not fully understood. Some of these plays have interoperability, right? They have NFT and DeFi landscapes, as well as, the market hasn't fully understood what these blockchains are capable of. Like I know that, I remember Medi telling me that Avalanche has a layer of their blockchain that actually could be used for security tokens. So in crypto, right, everything gets hot and then everyone dumps it and forgets about it.
And actually, one thing to add regarding security tokens, Avalanche recently they had a couple of interesting enterprise partnership. So one of the interesting partnership was with the firm, and then they did ILO. So what is ILO? It's initial litigation offering. So if you want to, if you don't have the funding and you want to fight a law case or lawsuit, you can raise money, and whatever the proceeds from that law case is, like let's say if you win the law case, whatever the money is generated, people who funded the law case can those can be distributed to them through tokens. So that is an interesting primitive that Avalanche introduced. You also had like a primitive of reverse fractionalization of NFT. So at the moment we saw NFT getting fractionalized and got divided as tokens. But then think about this: rather than dividing NFTs, what if you have an actual piece of art, and those actual piece of art is fractionalized, and you get the token. So they're also kind of playing around with that. So they have interesting partnership on the enterprise funds. And so also that's one of the reasons why I like it. I feel like, I don't know if somebody has watched the a podcast with Hasib on Bankless. He basically compares blockchain as cities, like blockchains are cities, not nation state. And I think to a certain degree, I'm in agreement with him. I feel like layer ones are, in my opinion, better investment than layer twos. And I think in the future, lot of narrative will shift towards layer two. But I feel like layer one has their own culture, has their own intricacies, has their own nuances, and because of that, you need to have a diversified portfolio. So if I go on Ethereum, the vibes I get, the culture I get, the community I get is different from Ethereum. It's different in Near, it's different in Cosmos, it's different in Polkadot. So I think if we are kind of going into this digital realm where whatever the economic activity was in the physical world gets replicated in digital world, I feel like there will be place for multiple layer ones to exist. And so having a diversified exposure makes sense. And because of that, I have Ethereum, I have AVAX, I have Cosmos, I have Near, and I feel like these are some of the high quality layer one names in my opinion.
All right, thank you, Mehdi. We saw a comment, somebody coming in saying what to buy now. Well, we can't give you investment advice, but you just heard a list of coins that we've covered here on the stream. You know, we were first on Cosmos. We were very early on Near, right? We just talked Avalanche and Solana. Okay, now for everyone who's watching the stream, don't go anywhere. Altcoin overtime based on your requests is coming up soon. But before we do that, I want to go over to Mike. Mike, I know that, you know, you had a layer one that you liked, right? I think that was Rose or Oasis. And then I think you had one other project that you had done in a previous deep dive that was doing well. So can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so Oasis, probably one of my favorite layer ones. I was fortunate enough to sell some Ethereum around $4,500, and I pivoted 20% of my holdings in Ethereum to Rose when it was around 18 cents. So been riding that wave, and I'm hopefully going to continue as the ecosystem flourishes more. But yeah, one project I wanted to bring up, we mentioned, I believe this was our January 4th, so beginning of the year, Hidden Gems report. So the Synapse protocol, and what they're doing is pretty unique in that it's essentially like a cross-chain stable swap for stable coins. So much like Curve Finance is doing, this is a similar protocol that's connecting stable coin liquidity across layer one side chains and layer twos. So it's essentially powering money markets across these multiple chains. And we flagged it January 4th at around $2, I believe, $2 or so, and now it's sitting at close to $3 each. So as these ecosystems are continuously developing out, we expect Synapse to accrue more value as one of the main stablecoin swaps or protocols that issues liquidity across other ecosystems. So yeah, it's up 4% today. Just another coin to keep an eye out for. It's been doing good, and we just want to make sure you guys are aware of it. And in case you are leveraging multiple ecosystems, this might be a coin just to pick up to expand your holdings across multiple ecosystems. And yeah, this is Synapse. Just wanted to inform you guys about this one.
All right, Mike, thank you. So one thing that you can get out there from listening to my colleagues is that, at Token Metrics, we highlight the technology and the use case behind things and give that to you before it hits the market, before it moves. The other thing that we give you is we give you a narrative, a story. In other words, what's the next Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, Microsoft? I don't know. How about Rose, Phantom, Near, right? Ethereum, Polkadot, etc. Right? These things that Mehdi and Mike talk about, it's what's next in tech. So you're like, ask yourself, did you understand everything there was to know about Twitter 10 years ago? I don't know. Maybe you were in third grade at the time, but that's okay. You don't understand all the tech all at once. So stay tuned with us. Make sure you subscribe and turn on the alert button, right? And I know you people are you're just gonna lose your mind hitting the like button, because I'm about to kick off an on-the-fly edition of Altcoin Overtime, right? Because I know that Altcoin Overtime, to our live stream audience, it's like sugar. So let me hook you up with some sugar. Altcoin Overtime. Polkadot breaking out. today, I'm anticipating like a bump and run. So if Polkadot's trading at 22, it may dip back where it was, say, on Friday, right? So if you get that sharp dip or you get that corrective pause in Polkadot, that might be the good time to get involved. Bigger picture, really, to unwind some of the bearish, just the last leg, Polkadot could get all the way up to 25. So, dips in Polkadot and pauses are opportunities to get involved. Now, speaking of, how difficult it is, right, to be bullish when something is dead, right? We talked about Moon River, I believe, as like a bigger the base, the higher in the space candidate. Moon River is up today. It's obviously way off of its highs. It's probably got some resistance at 130. But again, the search is on for stuff that's way off its highs, that also has a fundamental case and a decent chart. Okay, KDA. We talked a lot about this around 6. Resistance realistically is either at 8.5 or at 9. Some of these things that were so beat up for so long, right? Particularly these like momentum freight train coins, over the next 48 hours, you can stay a little bit disciplined. I don't recommend FOMOing in after a 25% rally blindly without at least waiting to see how the price action develops. But the fact of the matter is, something like KDA, if it was at, 15 at the end of last year, 7 doesn't look expensive to me. That doesn't mean you can't get a washout. Remember, CPI is coming up, Consumer Price Index. So it's all about the FOMO today, but you want to be intelligent on how you get involved. That said, right, I think throughout the course of February, this is going a lot higher, and you want to tune in to this channel. Now, Luna, the good news is it bounced. All right. The bad news is it really didn't outperform. I think Luna has got to get above 60. Now, that said, if you're looking for something that hasn't performed yet or that hasn't mooned, right, Luna might be something to look at, and your whole mentality, I don't know, that could be just a mentality. That's the investing mentality. What is good that hasn't mooned yet? Like Luna would fit that list. Now, a lot of guys asking about the meme coins. Doge, I have resistance at 16 cents. So in order for the paradigm to shift in Doge, you probably have to be above 16 cents. My sense is you're going to see profit taking in this particular coin. Now, if you don't see profit taking, that's probably because SHIB comes back above the 62% retracement of its entire down move. So I know I discussed a license to speculate. That probably includes meme coins, right? At the moment, it looks like SHIB has got more room to run than Doge, but every time I get conservative on anything, right? Like I get stupid bullish, and then I say, well, just be careful, right? So I don't want to throw caution to the wind, but obviously people are going to be looking to FOMO into meme coins. I personally think you should FOMO into things, that have greater investment value, right? Because that may be the stuff that has the most upside, because that could be where people are short. So you can join a retail parade into a meme coin, but the real play could be leverage shorts in your AVAXs and your Solanas. That said, again, I'm not going to argue. I was the one who said license to speculate, so I'm not going to steer you away from meme coins. Now, another example of how hard it was to be bullish, even though you knew it was at support, Axie Infinity, right? How long did this coin sit down at 47 and frankly look like total shit, right? People were on the stream asking for it, and the little orange circles are what I drew last week, right? It went through the top and got emotional. of a linear regression band, and then it went through the bottom. So it stands to reason that this thing could turn around and go up. And I was like, ooh, well, that's right. Next thing you know, it's up 20%, right? It's not he who hesitates is lost. It's he who hesitates is right. In other words, you got to have confidence in your viewpoint, right? If you feel that little bit of hesitation, right? Trading should be hard. If you feel hesitate, it's probably going to be right. Everything I've been hesitant about on this show, like where I could feel it internally, like, ooh, wow, did I just say that? It's all up 30%, right? When you're wearing a lampshade on your head, right, and you're drinking out of, you're drinking out of the Zen gong, okay, that's when you sell, when it's easy to be long. Okay, Gala Games, good Lord, right? I was talking about a possible bump and run. I can't remember exactly what I said about this. Hopefully it was bullish. It obviously wasn't bullish enough in terms of what I said, but this is an example of what happens when you get these quiet breakouts, right? You break through a trend line, you come back down, and then boom, it goes, right? It just goes and goes and goes. I mean, Gala has recently unwound just the give up trade. And if Gala is above 35 cents or 36 cents 3 or 4 days from now, it's probably going to 60 cents. Because the whole thing about this rally is everyone missed it. So if there's a dip or there's no dip, it's just a pause, right? I don't know. We could see some very extreme FOMO for the rest of this month, right? So, February 10th, the inflation number comes out. You give it a day or two between now and then. You say, all right, see what happens. Right? Because obviously if Gala is going back to 80 cents or it's going to $1, you've got at least some time to study the price action. Somebody's asking about Tron. I don't know what's going on here, but it looks like they're unwinding the give up trade with some gusto. This looks like Gala or Axie in the sense that everyone gave up and now it's turning around and breaking out. So I don't know if there's a reason to like Tron, right? But a lot of this stuff that I don't know, nobody would ever talk about, meme coins, XRP, Tron. I'm looking at the charts. I'm like, wow, this stuff's waking up, right? They're buying the lower quality stuff, and that's always the way it is in a bull market, right? You always start off a bull market with disbelief, denial, and the lower quality stuff rallying. Meanwhile, that's why you tune in here with Mehdi and Michael and myself, so you can figure out, hey, where's the quality stuff that no one's paying attention to yet, right? Elrond, highly correlated with Ethereum. No one's talking about Elrond. Well, you know what happens when Elrond gets going, right? It just goes and goes and goes, and it looks like it's trying to break out. So the moment you get a pause in Bitcoin, maybe this is the way to say it. The moment you get a pause in Bitcoin, stuff like Elrond, all these altcoins, oh my God, I mean, I couldn't even fit the all-time high in Elrond onto this chart. Couldn't even fit it. What does that tell you? IOTA, resistance at 103, right? But just like Axie Infinity, right? Give up. Everybody give up, give up, give up. Like 10 days, just painful, right? And now it's slowly starting to perk up. So, IOTA is unusual. It's debatable, but it's a license to speculate, right? If you believe in a coin, now's the time to get involved. Now's the time to believe. If you believe, go believe, right? LFG, NFA, with risk management and some patience over the next 2 days. But if you want to get in, right, February is where you got to get in, not investment advice, perp. All right, waiting for this to wake up. Can it wake up? Yes. When perp wakes up, it's ferocious, right? Now, there's a guy on Twitter who's like, I told you about perp at $1. It went to 25. Now y'all are giving me a hard time about it. Well, guess what? When everyone's giving the guy that found perp a hard time about it, that's when it's time to get long. not investment advice. If perp dumps, it dumps, but you've been paid in the past to buy perp at 6 when everyone is sleeping. Again, if you have a speculative shock wave in crypto, the derivatives exchanges, DYDX, Medi brought that protocol to your attention that has a wide range of functionality. Everything that you can get from any existing exchange, whether that's in legacy or crypto, and this includes products that you get from investment banks, they're called structured products. So imagine anything you can get at Wall Street, anything you can get in legacy, anything you can get in crypto. Imagine these things are going to start gelling into protocols. Perp is just one example, okay? But I got to think the next big theme, along with NFTs, is this whole Wall Street comes to the blockchain, okay? And that, folks, is altcoin overtime. All right, I'm gonna do one more. I know that we've got a lot of RMRK fans out there. So let me just pull that up and let's talk about it. So I'm gonna pull this chart up, and I know I got a bunch of requests.
Yeah, for me, the funny thing is it went all the way down to $14.
Right?
And nobody bought and nobody was interested, and now it has retraced 40%. It's around $22, and now people are thinking about buying it. So this is the lesson. I think lesson for everyone. If you like a project, if you're bullish on it, just DCA. And you have to appreciate the project at $14 as much as you appreciate the project at $22, if not more.
Right. So you know what? Medi is spot on, right? I make this joke all the time on the stream. I'll pull up a chart and I'll say, well, at 64, everyone loved it, but nobody wanted to talk about it at 16. Okay. Now it's at 1. All right. Now, if I had to just sort of draw this out, right? All of these coins, I think, are going to unwind their give up trades. So this is RMRK. Whoops. Right. And the give up trade. And again, folks, this is this year. It isn't even this year. It was like a month ago, right? A month ago, RMRK was at 30. And everyone said, I hate it. And it lost half of its value. Everybody gave up on this, right? I mean, speed, magnitude, direction. High school physics. What goes down one way goes back up the same way. I mean, how many down days did you have in a row in RMRK? Right? 1, 2, right? Here's a 1 break and then 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? That happened going the other way. That's one of the reasons why, if you go back to the start of the stream where I said the minute Bitcoin stops, remember total 3, right? In the metaverse, can you imagine what happens, right? If some of these metaverse coins actually get big enough to start pushing market cap, right? Vulcan, okay? All kinds of trend lines drawn on Vulcan. There's resistance at 16, but look what happened when Vulcan broke through some of the lines that we were talking about. It unwound all of this. And you're like, well, I guess it's over. Well, it's at resistance. You don't FOMO in at resistance. You give it a day, maybe, right? A day or two with this number coming out. But Vulcan was at 35. Yeah, they got hacked. But, as a final word, right? This is the altcoin of the stock market, ARK. So, yes, I'm ending a crypto live stream with a chart of ARK. ARK is the highly speculative plays inside the equity market. Now, if there's a license to speculate, and nobody believes the altcoins of the stock market can go up, that means one of two things. That means all the altcoin speculation is going to be in crypto. Or can you imagine what happens if they squeeze out all the shorts in equities? Crypto went down first and then equities followed. Could you imagine what happens if this squeeze like extends itself out 2 or 3 weeks? I'm not talking about the rest of the year, folks. I'm just talking about where sentiment is right now. I mean, does this look like it's going up to you? Does this look like anybody over in Legacy believes that there's a license to speculate? No, they don't believe it at all. But we do, and we like the market. And again, you know, I've got my fundamental colleagues here, and they're giving you the case, right, to subscribe to tokenmetrics.com to get not only the AI and the machine learning research, but also the deep dives on projects so you can understand AVAX and NEAR. Because if you understand AVAX, NEAR, XDeFi, ROSE, half as well as my colleagues, you have a good shot at making money and figuring out what's next in crypto. Speaking of what's next, don't go anywhere, folks. Inflation numbers coming out in this market after the dip. I don't know what it looks like. I got to look in the crystal ball, but I'm telling you right now, after the dip, after they give you one last scare or they give you one last pause, you are going to want to be right here with Bill, Mehdi, Mike, and Token Metrics. Remember, Token Metrics is not just a YouTube site. It's a research company. So on behalf of my colleagues, right, I will remind you that shop.tokenmetrics.com for Valentine's Day. If you're going to be bullish, dress the part. This is your host, Bill Noble. I will see you tomorrow.